Hey guys, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. Here's a really quick video on how to learn jazz guitar voicings almost in sort of a shortcut. So people will throw at you, typically online, inversions, major sevens, major nines, and then the flat nine and this and that. You can, if you're just beginning, you can just ignore that for now. One thing you can do that's going to serve you well is to find a bass note. Say we're going to do a C, and you can just extract 4 different families, which I really like to use and start to teach in my accelerator. So it's pretty simple. We're going to do a major family, we're going to do a minor family, we're going to do a dominant. So dominant is like plain 7. When you see something like C7, that's a dominant. And then we're going to do the other. So the others are like the diminished and the crazy stuff. So let's just start right away. So people, if you've been playing rock and stuff, you've been playing the C like that, right? So guitar, good old guitar C. We're just going to migrate to a bar C like this, right? So these types of voicings for jazz, when you just have a triad, they don't really pan out, and there's, in a way, I think it's too dense, there's too many notes, and also it's too bland. It's like, it's not spicy enough for jazz. So one of the things you will see a lot on scores is major 7. So people say, oh, anything that's major now becomes a major 7. That's not a complete truth, but it's a great place to start. So here's a C major 7 that we'll put on the screen here. So what I like about this approach is that we're actually skipping a string, right? You have the C note, you have the B, the 7th with this nice wide interval. We're not playing the 5th string at all. And then we have the E, the 3rd, and the G. So that's a really great place to start. And another favorite of mine for this family of chord is just a C6. So you'll replace that note, that B, for an A note. So the way to play that chord is to actually go with second finger root, which is, if you've been in rock and blues, a great habit, because a lot of my students come from that barring and they go here. So go second finger root for a change, and you have an index behind to play other notes. And you can play the note C, A, E, and G. Again, the guitar is soft here in the video on purpose as to not peak with my voice, okay? Like this, right? And on that note, you can go a long way with these voices, the C major 7, the C6, for a family. So now people say, yes, but Mark, I also know this one. Yeah, it's also valid. From these two shapes, you can start to remove the root, invert it, add this, remove that, and you'll wind up with a lot of different things. The best thing to do as a jazz guitar beginner or an amateur or a newbie is to make things simple by looking at chord families instead of chord names. So say, if the chart says C major 9, fine, it's in my major family, right? So I like to think of those like, oh, cat. All right, is it a lion? Is it a tiger? Is it a panther? They're all cat, feline family, but they're not quite the same. So I like to think in big families because I know there's multiple kinds of tigers, say. I don't know zoology, I'm just saying. So major, like this. Then minor is going to be pretty simple. There's this good old, you do a minor 7, a minor bar, and you make it minor 7. So the way I like to finger those is again to reverse my hand and to go second finger root. So all the notes are on the same fret. Again, it's fret string 6, 4, 3, and 2. Okay, so it's all fret 8, but it's 2 fingers, and that's a recommended fingering. That's called a partial bar in your 3rd finger. This joint might not obey right off the bat, but it's a great place to start to have these voicings like this and this, and there's a lot of movement that can come from that. So that's a really great place to be if you're just starting with these jazz voicings. So recap: major C6 or C major 7, C minor 7. Then we'll go again to index finger dominant. So good old C7 bar, the good old blues bar. We're going to do the same thing. So you have a root on the 6th string, and then you will put the 3rd and the 7th. So B flat, E natural, and A. Let's put this on the screen for C13. Really good all-around dominant chord for jazz blues. That would be the 5 chord in a 2-5-1 sequence, and it's plain, but also it's funky, but it's modern enough, right? So major, minor, dominant. That's when you get a plain 7th. Notice the major 7 will specify, oh, it's major 7. The minor 7 specifies it's minor 7. The dominant 7 is just with a number on it, okay? Like this. And lastly, well, we won't do diminished. I'm sorry. We will just do minor 7 flat 5. So minor 7 flat 5 here. So fret 8, 8, 8, and 7. So again, we skipped a string. That might be the most convoluted one, so let me stand up. So C, B flat, E flat, and G flat is here. Good. So now you have 4 chords family, and those can be pretty useful to work on anywhere. Of course, this is just the beginning of a journey in explorating. So you might have your root on the 6th string, your root on the 5th string, and all that to say, I do work with a small bunch of people through a program called the Jazz Guitar Accelerator. So if you're interested in finding out more about putting these voicings on different places on a fretboard, covering more colors, and also covering them on tunes and contexts like standards, feel free to book a call. It's totally free. We'll get together, I'll show you a plan, and we can work on improving your skills really, really quickly. So that was a micro video on learning jazz guitar voicings for the purpose of playing on standards. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.